The Week 6 AP poll, the national champion the last 20 years has been ranked in the top 12, the Week 6 AP poll. It was last week was Week 6, and the top 12 was TO, Tennessee, Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, Kentucky, Marquette, Alabama, Gonzaga, Florida, Kansas, Purdue, Oregon. There is no UConn in that top 12. UConn had, I would say, their most impressive performance of the season. They beat Gonzaga in what was effectively a home game at Madison Square Garden. Should we really be viewing UConn as a team that can repeat, that can make a run there? Is this just an example of them getting hot at the right time? Like, where do you stand on that?
Why are we doing those 12 teams?
Can you read the 12 teams again?
Okay, so the top 12 of the AP poll in Week 6 in each of the last 20 years, the national champion has been in the top 12 of the AP poll in Week 6. So last week was Week 6, and the top 12 teams in order: Tennessee, Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, Kentucky, Marquette, Alabama, Gonzaga, Florida, Kansas, Purdue, Oregon. So if history is going to repeat itself like it has for the last 20 years, one of those 12 teams will win the national championship. And do you think that UConn can be the team that spoils that this year? T.O., nothing?
They're really good on the mainland. Last time I checked, they haven't lost in any state not named Hawaii. So could they? Yeah. Will they? I mean, don't ever doubt Dan Hurley. I do think it'll be tough, though. There's a lot of really good teams and a lot of much bigger teams across the front line than what we just mentioned.
Well, look, the Hollywood script writes itself. If you were to go on a three-peat and you achieve something that only John Wooden has, it would only be, fitting that you also achieve something that nobody's done the last 20 years, which was you weren't in the top 12 in Week 6, and now you are. I mean, a week later here, you're ranked 11th in the country. So it's not like they were that far off. I think the Maui trip was just a perfect storm, pun intended, for just a disaster of a week where they couldn't work on anything.
Yeah.
Couldn't work on anything. Also, they played good teams, with the exception of Colorado. Like, they played a Memphis team that's really freaking good. And if the ball bounces one way, UConn may win that game. And then maybe they make the final of that. I mean, woulda, shoulda, coulda. But, and they play Dayton. Dayton's good. I have them in my top 20 this week. I think they're one of the better teams in the country. Zed Key, Nate Santos, Enoch Cheeks, what they're getting they have old dudes who know how to win and who play really hard. And Anthony Grant's a terrific coach. So I think that, yes, Rob, yes, UConn can defy the odds because they're still getting better.
Yeah.
Jaden Ross, Jalen Stewart, solo ball. Ross is still trying to figure it fully out. Jalen Stewart has figured it out, and now is ready to be a double-figure off-the-bench scorer. Terrace Reed and Samson Johnson. I thought this on Saturday. I don't know if Samson Johnson, gets UConn to win by 10 to 15. Here's what I do know. Johnson has been in some foul trouble in some big games.
Every game.
He exited the game. I thought UConn played just smarter basketball defensively with Reed and even Yusuf Sangare, who played 7 minutes in the game and knew his role and knew what to do. That's a sign of a great program. A guy at the end of the bench comes in and you didn't notice him, but it was a good thing. He wasn't getting exposed severely. They're getting better. They have to make up for the loss of Tristan Newton with shot making at the 2 and the 3 spot this year. And they don't have an unbelievable rim protector. But McNeely is incredible. I mean, he is the best part about this college season. And I'm seeing it from casuals. You guys talk to people who are like, yeah, I love college basketball in February and March. But I am getting more texts than I have early in the season for people who are like, wow, flag, but not just flag.
Fun.
Holy crap, Harper and McNeely. This is what college hoops is supposed to be. The return of the freshmen. COVID took away freshmen flourishing in college hoops. It is back and it is glorious. Liam McNeely on Saturday night. That was one of the most impressive floor game performances, considering it came at Madison Square Garden against a Gonzaga team that was very hungry for a win and hadn't lost back-to-back games since 2018. To answer your question, yes. Connecticut can three-peat. I'm never doubting Dan Hurley. I'm never doubting him, period. But anybody doubting him is just they have an agenda against him. Like, stop.
Yeah.
He's as good as any coach in the country. And enough with the, trying to question what they're doing, how they're doing it. You can critique, but you got to understand, like, that's the best staff in the country right now.
Yeah.
And they figured it out the last couple of weeks, and they're playing great ball.
Are UConn fans going to be upset if they make the Elite Eight?
No. I think that there's been a change in mindset, at least from the rational human beings that I know in the UConn fan base, and that there was it was kind of a, wow, this team isn't very good. Let's just back them, man. Like, this could be fun. We could watch something grow here. Like, you can watch the build of this group. And I think a lot of the accounts that you're used to seeing on social media are going to be banging that, like, we can win this national title three-peat bandwagon. But I think a lot of them kind of realize, like, this is it's something of a rebuilding year, I guess is the way to kind of phrase it, like a reloading year. And
could make deep into the second weekend.
Yes, and it's very possible that they could do that. And I'll ask you this: like, would you be that shocked if they were able to kind of outpace Marquette for a Big East regular season championship this year? Like, I think we've all kind of accepted that Marquette is the best team and the favorite to win it. But TL, like, where Marquette just went on the road and lost at Dayton after blowing a 13-point lead, I have my opinions on that, but I'm curious what you think about it.
Do I think, just from a consistency perspective, could they? I mean, two terrific coaches. The thing you worry about in the Big East is, since the league's the way it is this year, not been the case past X amount of years, but since the way it is this year, like, you can't lose focus. Like, and I just don't know that either one of them is going to lose focus. It's going to come down to head-to-head competition. And at Marquette, I'd give them the edge, and at UConn, I'd give UConn the edge. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know how this is going to pan out. But to me, like, that's a clear 1 and 2. Clear 1 and 2. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just going to come down to who stays focused and who has an off night.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think that there is the concern that I would have for Marquette right now. I think Marquette is and rightfully should be the favorite to win the regular season. I think St. John's is probably there. St. John's is a step below those two, but it's
those
close.
Those games just package the three teams together, and when any of them go to Creighton.
Yes,
because it's just a different atmosphere.
Yep.
That is.
I will just say
that is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. UConn Marquette. I think the game of Milwaukee, I know, is a Saturday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just going to be terrific when those two teams play.
Yep. The one concern that I have for Marquette is that they are a little reliant on Cam Jones, like a little over reliant on Cam Jones, and will his legs hold up? Will he be able to kind of give you these 28, 30?
He's in great incredible shape.
Yeah.
TOC.
What happens is, so the Dayton game, like, here's the other concern. The Dayton game, he picked up his third foul when Marquette was up by 13 points with, I think it was 18 and a half minutes left in the second half.
Yeah.
And comes out of the game. And he's out of the game for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, comes back in at the under 16, and it goes from 39-26 to 41-38. And Marquette was never able to kind of regain that rhythm. So that's my concern, is not like, is he good enough to do it? It's, that there's going to be instances where he gets in foul trouble.
Sean coming back? When's Sean Jones coming back?
Soon.
Okay, so
By the way, very, very quickly, only hoops nuggets that you can only get on DTF. Number one, Nigel James, Marquette fans, the guy you're getting next year, the little point guard. I just saw him yesterday playing for Long Island Lutheran. He's terrific.
Freaking tough is what he is.
Other recruiting circuit takeaway. Before I head to City of Palms tomorrow for a couple of games down there, can't wait. Chris Sinak, the kid Houston got, holy crap.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He's freaking huge. I am all in on Chris Sinak. I want to be president of the fan club.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Marquette will be Marquette. Here's the thing. It's not the first time that a powerhouse team has been reliant on one player.
No.
So, of course, he had foul trouble. Dayton made their run. Dayton's a really good team. They were at home. Who's to say Dayton doesn't make their run if Jones is on the floor?
That's the other part of it. Yeah, good point.
So I understand your take, Rob. I totally get it. And if Jones went down with an injury, oh my God, that'd be horrible. That being said, T.O. knows this because he's had them directly in person. I can't speak to this, and neither can any of us because of we haven't had them in person. But T.O., you've watched this kid. I've watched him practice. He is unbelievably conditioned. He might be as good of a conditioned player in the country. And you're right on Sean Jones. Sean Jones is vital. When Sean Jones is back, that alleviates the pressure from always being on Stevie Mitchell and Chase Ross.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's going to alleviate the pressure. You have to get him off the ball a little bit, like just a little bit. He's put up crazy numbers. Got to get him off the ball.
Smart ain't worried. Shaka Smart ain't worried.
No, shoot, no. Back to Nigel James. Wasn't that the kid that was supposed to go to Providence, and then Cooley left? He was committed to Providence a couple years ago.
Might have been.
And then Cooley left. But that kid's tough. And you want to talk about a guy that fits Shaka? Whoa.
It seems pretty good. Kate Mingo going to Penn State. Good get for Mike Rhodes. His younger brother Dylan's figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'm jumping into some of the like EYBL's a lot of fun, but it's refreshing. It was a topic on our pod that I know you're going to get to here at some point with the freshmen. It's just so fun to be talking about freshmen again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the NBA draft stuff is really interesting. We'll get to that in a second. Before we do, I do just want to hit you guys on this.